So we are now officially seeing a bullish indicator on Bitcoin that we have never actually seen in the history of Bitcoin. We're going to get into that, what it means, and where I believe the price action is headed in the near future, and actually really my forecast for the next year or so. So first we're going to get into Marathon Holdings, and then we're going to cover Bitcoin, and then we're going to get into Ethereum, because why not? Let's do the two blue chip crypto stocks or tickers. The reason why I want to start with Mara is because we did talk about it yesterday, and we first started talking about Mara, well, a long time ago, but I re-brought it back up because I was up 60% on my position. Last I checked, I was up 140% on my position, and I believe there's a lot more upside to Mara than there is downside as far as support and resistance levels, right? So first, I just want to bring up something I did not mention yesterday, and that is this wedge here. So you can always kind of draw a trend line based on the support down here and the resistance up here. And a lot of times they will form this wedge kind of going towards a meeting point, which I like to refer to as ground zero, or the point of no return. Reason being is because sometime before that point, or sometimes maybe a little slightly after or right at that point, something has to give as far as the technicals. So we did end up blasting through, so it did push very high to the upside, but it could have very easily went something like this, where it came up, got rejected again, maybe came down and retested this support slightly higher above that consolidation or right at that consolidation. Could have tested it maybe one or two more times, doesn't really matter, the principle is the same, and then could have headed down in the downward direction. So that is why this point of no return, this ground zero, is very important, because it blasted through to the bullish side, and that showed a lot of traders and a lot of institutions that the strength is to the upside and not the strength to the downside. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and a short-term momentum can very easily turn into a long-term momentum. So I wanted to bring that up because I did not mention that yesterday, but I do encourage you to go back to my previous video and take a look at Marathon Holdings, because I have a lot of good stuff in there. So let's get to Bitcoin, and let's talk about the thing that has never happened in the history of Bitcoin, and that is we have, for the first time, a red on the weekly HA market bias indicator turning green. In the past, the price action has always there's either not been enough data, or it has been above the HA market bias indicator in a strong green to only come back down to the dark green, which is indicating just a weaker bull run, but technically it's still a bull run. Now, with diminishing returns on Bitcoin, which is just inevitably going to happen, we, for the first time in our bear market cycles, because we have had bear markets in the past with crypto, even though the indicator is not yet showing that because of how early Bitcoin is, and just the explosiveness of Bitcoin and how volatile it has been to the upside. When it did take a breather, it didn't have enough time to actually get down there. And that can actually hurt your perspective on crypto, because your indicators are not working the way they technically should. Well, now we have an indicator working technically as it should. Now, it is important to keep in mind with the HA market bias indicator is that it repaints. So this could turn red again before it turns green. But my experience is that even if it does that, it's more so, it's just that this initial green was just a little too early. It'll repaint and go dark red again one more time before it actually takes off. So yes, while this could technically repaint, it still can be used as an indication to go long. And for the first time since December 27th of 2021, we have on the weekly for Bitcoin all bullish indicators. Okay, so let's run through our setup. we have the 7-period simple moving average in blue right here. And we have the 25-period exponential moving average in yellow right here. We, according to our setup, are to go long or look for entries when the blue moving average is above the yellow moving average. And we indeed have that right here. We also are only looking to go long when the market bias indicator is green, which we also have right here. Now, if we pull up the Trendillo, once again, as I've said in the past, I like to keep the Trendillo on logarithmic, but I will pop down here because you can't really see the differential of strength and weakness when you have that logarithmic up. But I like the logarithmic because I'm looking to see if it's above or below the 0 line. And it very clearly shows me that on the logarithmic, which we do. Not only are we above the 0 line, but we're also green, showing a strong uptrend, okay? How I normally set up the MACD, and I just have to reset it up because I accidentally exited out at some point in time. Normally, blue MACD, yellow signal line. That's normally what I have. And the reason why I do that is because I want everything to be as uniform as possible. So I went ahead and did that for you right here. So you can see that not only do I have a bullish cross on the MACD, but it exactly reflects my signals of the bullish entry on my moving averages. I hope that makes sense. So for the first time ever, because we've never had this red before on the HA market bias indicator, for the first time ever, we are actually able to use the HA market bias indicator on Bitcoin on the weekly to say it is time to go long. Congratulations, this is a huge moment. I'm being slightly facetious about that, but I'm actually also being very serious because that is very exciting moving forward, being able to confidently use that indicator because it is such a strong indicator. It really is. So let's finish up with Ethereum. Now, in bear markets, Bitcoin tends to do better than altcoins, and even Ethereum is an altcoin, right? So we have not had that change yet. However, I would expect it to change soon, given the fact that Bitcoin just changed, right? So everything else is the same. MACD, we have the blue line above the signal line. So the MACD line's above the signal line, which is an indication to go long. Trendillo is showing an indication to go long. So while we are above the market bias indicator, technically you are waiting for this to actually turn green to get into it. So we do not have that yet. But as far as the moving averages, we have the blue moving average above the yellow moving average as a signal to go long. So this is my setup. It might work for you. It doesn't have to work for you. You have to learn how to actually trade these and be disciplined on whatever setup that you use. So just because it works for me doesn't mean it is going to work for you. But as a testament, my current open positions, I have BKKT, I'm up 2%. Marathon Holdings, I'm up 141%. TQQQ, I'm up 30%. I think it was up at 36% at one point in time. And S&P 500, I am up 3.83%. I did close out my Snapchat position. I closed it out yesterday, I think for 36% profit, something like that. After hours, we are up pretty much across the board as far as the S&P 500 or just the stock market in general. But we did have a little bit of a breather at the end of the day. People are going to start taking profits. There's going to be a little bit of a downturn. We can get more into that in later videos, but I'm going to get this one out. So I just want you to know I appreciate every one of the subscribers. We're still a pretty small YouTube channel, but we're nearing 400 subscribers, which is pretty exciting. And I'm excited for the next 400. If you like this video, just do me a favor. The easiest way to help out the channel is to just hit the like button. It takes you literally less than a second, and it tells the algorithm to push out my videos, and it really, really does actually make a difference. So happy trading, stay safe out there, and good luck.